A missing teen was found alive after being gone for 5 weeks and classified as a runaway. However, 3 men have now been charged in her disappearance, being regarded as sick individuals. This is a 15-year-old girl, and the men are 35, 37, and 41 years old. You are such a genuine gem. Thank you for clicking on my video. I am Brooke Makenna, and I'm so grateful that you are here. I would love if you would subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And if you want to never miss an upload, you can sign up to my newsletter, the Genuine Gem newsletter, and that means you will never miss an upload because I can send them to you personally. I would absolutely love for you to be a part of that. And if you don't know, I'm super passionate about survivor stories and doing these cases where these missing people, these victims, are found alive. And you'll find in this case, there's a lot of people who want to say that this girl was not necessarily a victim because she did run away from home and that's what she was classified as, though I beg to differ, and we'll get into why my reasoning is on that. But just know that there is a whole playlist down below if you would like to hear other survivor stories. I think it's so important to tell those stories of bravery, of courage, of those people who had been surrounded by something so dark and had come out on the other side to see the light. So that's why I continue to do these videos and let you know about these survivors, because they truly do deserve all of the spotlight in the world. I want to mention that I also have a vlog channel if you are interested in learning a more personal side to my life and just knowing my story. I share a lot of other people's stories and I want to share more of my own with you guys. So I will link that down below if you would like to get to know me. But before we dive in, a quick mention for our sponsor, Midas Merge. Now this is a Merge 3 game where players can actually compete on quests and harness the sun's energy to dispel the darkness cast by Nyx, the goddess of night. It's a true fantasy that reminds you that no matter how much darkness, the light always wins. You can combine these adorable creatures and treasures and uncover secrets and lore hidden within the Gardens of Gold. The best part is Midas Merge is free to download and ad-free, and if you are one of the first 100 to install from my link or the QR code on the screen, you can receive a rare black cat creature to boost your haunted gardens progress. Just click the link below or scan the QR code. Now let's get back to the story. So on April 21st of 2025, Alisa Petrov vanished. This teen lived in South Jordan, Utah, and she was only 15 years old. So that morning, her mother had dropped her off at school on American Fork at around 9:30 in the morning. She watched as her daughter entered the building with her backpack on, and nothing seemed amiss. She didn't know, however, until Alisa would not come out after school that day, that she had never made it to class. Teachers had actually never seen her that day. She never made it home, and that is when she was reported missing. Now, Alisa was 5'4", weighing about 122 pounds, with brown hair, brown eyes. She had a small birthmark on her stomach and a 2-inch discoloration on her left hand from a burn. One eye also tended to go kind of lazy and wander off if she was tired. These were her identifying features, but she was only 15 years old and could not yet fully take care of herself. And her parents, of course, were absolutely distraught that they didn't know where she was. So investigators searched this area around her school, and they actually found CCTV from a nearby gas station showing Alisa entering the store after being dropped off by her mother at the school. So this gas station was nearby, and it was a place that the teens would often go to get snacks. So she was seen at the counter purchasing a few items. And after that, this is when she left. Now, she had been spotted at the train station getting out of a vehicle that was driven by an unknown male. Then she arrived at the UTA Tracks Frontrunner train station in American Fork, and the train that she ended up on was southbound to Provo, Utah. This was about a 20-minute drive by car and about an hour train ride. She was seen wearing baggy jeans, a white gray shirt with Harvard University on it, a black hoodie, and she was carrying a blue backpack with a yellow stripe. So investigators traveled to where she was believed to have gotten off the train at Provo, Utah. They talked to multiple witnesses in the area, and they would be informed that she did exit the train at this stop, which was 690 South University Avenue. While there, she had reportedly asked multiple people for help getting to Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, she was allegedly trying to get someone to buy her a bus ticket to Las Vegas if she would just give them cash. So basically, she wouldn't have been tracked by a ticket or by this exchange of money in order to get this ticket. But this is where she was last seen on foot. It wasn't believed that she got another train, and it was unknown if she caught the bus. It was also unknown at this time why she would have wanted to travel to Las Vegas. But again, it was unknown why she would have run away in the first place. However, fellow students would begin to tell investigators that Alisa told them that she planned on running away. They told her not to do it. She wasn't listening. But on April 29th, the South Jordan Police Department would release a statement in regards to the updates of Alisa's case. They stated that Alisa was believed to be attempting to meet individuals she met online using multiple social media platforms and chats. They also stated that Alisa was a runaway juvenile who was endangered. You see, investigators had actually searched Alisa's bedroom at her family home. And to her parents' surprise, investigators had found an iPad hidden in the dresser, an iPad they didn't know about. Now, on this iPad, the lead investigator would recover numerous alarming conversations, including a hidden Instagram that the juvenile had, where she was conversing with multiple individuals, but one in particular, a profile named Matt. Now, while the investigator read through these conversations, they were lengthy, and he discovered that Matt identified himself to the juvenile as a 35-year-old male living in Miami. In their conversations, the juvenile was clear with Matt regarding her age being 15, and he makes statements confirming knowledge of this, and detectives would ultimately discover that she had been conversing with several men online prior to disappearing, and all three were believed to be explicit conversations online. It was also found that Alisa had her phone with her, so they were working on determining whether or not the location data was still turned on for tracking. Alisa's family created a website called Missing Alisa to spread information announcing a $20,000 reward for her return. They wrote directly to her saying, "Alisa, if you can see this, please come home. We are really missing you. We are very worried about you. We love you no matter what happened. We will always love you, and you will not get in trouble for running away. You will not get in trouble if you lost your phone or whatever happened. Please just call us and come home. We just want to make sure you are okay, and you are welcome home at any time." By May 4th, 13 days missing, Alisa's parents told the media that their daughter was always on her phone. They had spoken to her about talking to strangers online. They had instructed her to delete contacts that she didn't know, and they even checked her phone all throughout her teenage years, even days prior to her disappearance. They said they saw nothing to suggest that she was going to run away. The family said that she had not been active on social media since she vanished, and she also was not responding to any of their messages. Her parents, Nikolai and Olga, feared that their daughter was either lured away by adults or that she was potentially trafficked. Her father, Nikolai, said that if she's in Las Vegas, it might be a very dangerous place for her. Someone could be abusing her. It was really bad. 17 days missing, on May 8th, the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force began assisting the South Jordan Police Department. This was actually initiated following a cyber tip from the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. This turned out to be coming from Texas. 2 days later, on May 10th, investigators said that they had identified a Texas man who could be linked to Alisa's disappearance, and he was an adult male. But they had yet to find concrete evidence on who he was, if he was the last person to see her, if he had seen her after she disappeared, or if she was in the Texas area at all. However, this man's name was not revealed to the public at this time. By May 14th, 23 days missing, her parents Olga and Nikolai agreed to an interview with KUTV2 News. They revealed that they were actually the ones that went to the train station where Alisa was last seen, and they found a woman named Joanna, who was the one who Alisa allegedly asked if she could just pay her to go buy her a ticket. Now, she didn't end up doing so. They also spoke to a guy who claimed that Alisa asked him for a ride to Salt Lake City, Utah, a different location than the woman was saying. Now, the parents claimed that they had given all of this information to the police and that the police were following up, but they were not telling them much about the investigation. They also claimed that witnesses were telling them that they saw their daughter near a white SUV, but it was unknown if she had ever actually gotten inside.
When we first heard about Texas, we were hopeful that they will find her there, but then the news came out that they just arrested some individual and they didn't find Alisa there. So basically, we are kind of back to square one. But we were talking to police about some other things, and they say that they still have some leads to follow. We just don't know what that actually means because they don't want to give us any details. But according to them, they still have a lot of stuff to go through, and they're still working on it. And the FBI is saying exactly the same thing, that that the police is working really hard. So, and considering that they cooperated with Texas to actually do something, seems like they are actually working hard. And it's not just in Utah, but we don't know where the person is who she spoke with or she ran away to. We still do not know that.
Difficult, definitely difficult. We're still hoping that we will find her safe. I know almost 3.5 weeks passed, but that's we still have a lot of hopes. Police is working, and we don't know where she is, but hopefully she can see that we miss her, that we wait for her, and we will be happy to bring her back home.
After she disappeared, we did go there and we met a lady. Her name is Joanna, and she spoke to Alisa about. Alisa asked her to buy a ticket to Las Vegas, right? She then connected us with the food bank people, and then there was another guy who apparently Alisa came and asked to drive her to Salt Lake City instead of Las Vegas. Police is also not really telling us like what they saw in this footage. It's a little bit weird here because this is actually I just asked them 2 days ago like what did you see there and what not, and they did not really clarify anything specifically, but it sounded like they got some footage, they looked at something and they didn't see anything identifying or weird on that footage. But basically, as far as we understand, there are several people that are saying that then Alisa was talking to somebody at some white SUV, but we do not know if this white SUV took her or not, and we do not know where she went after that. Police doesn't want to actually comment on anything. Like we spoke to them and we asked them, would it help if we put like billboards or something? They said, it's all up to you.
When the parents were asked if they had received any tips from their website, Nikolai said a trucker actually reached out to them who did not speak English. He said he saw a girl with a man in a vehicle and she didn't appear to be his daughter. It appeared very suspicious, and so he ended up giving this tip to Nikolai, who took this to the police, and the police did eventually locate this vehicle and this man and this girl, but it was not Alisa. I wish I could have found out more about this girl and if she was a kidnapped or missing girl, but I could not find any more information. On May 20th, 29 days missing, the South Jordan Police Department released a statement then identifying 2 adult males as an update in this missing persons case. That's right, 2. Not just the one. They released information regarding the charges of 35-year-old Matthew Nicholas Menard from Miami, Florida, and 37-year-old William Taylor Glens from Texas City, Texas. Menard had been charged with 2 counts of aggravated exploitation of a minor and 3 counts of criminal solicitation. Glens had been charged with 2 counts of aggravated exploitation of a minor, 2 counts of attempted aggravated exploitation of a minor, 2 counts of exploitation of a minor, plus enticement of a minor, and 3 counts of criminal exploitation. This release stated that both men had communicated with Alisa prior to her vanishing. The Utah Attorney General's office had filed the charges. However, they had yet to be arrested at this point, and Alisa had still not been found. She was still a runaway who was endangered. Many online and in the community began saying that she should no longer be listed as a runaway due to the implications that this was of her own doing and that she could simply return at any time. Many said because it appeared as though she had been groomed and lured out of her home by these men much older than her, that this was not of her own accord, and it was unknown if she currently had the freedom to return. Texas authorities also then charged William Glines with possession of more than 50 child essay images and videos. You see, investigators had seized 35-year-old Matthew Menard's phone at his home during a prior search prior to this statement being released. They had found messages between 35-year-old Menard and 15-year-old Alisa where he'd asked her if she was secretly 15. She responded, "Of course, Yeppers, I'm actually in middle school." He continued to talk to her in a largely sexual manner. They had been talking for months, and he had expressed in graphic detail that he had been essayed as a child and what he would do to her. He then solicited sex, sodomy, and CSAM from her. They also discussed meeting up in Las Vegas, even though Menard was in Florida and had no connections to where she lived in Utah. They had met online, and so they were actually going to go to Las Vegas together because he had an upcoming business trip in May. So he told her to go ahead and head there, lay low, and he would meet her. And he suggested they hire a sex worker to engage in group sex. Then they planned to fly to LA together a few days before going back to his home in Florida. He had discussed with Alisa how she could travel without being tracked, which made sense as to why she was trying to get somebody else to buy her a bus ticket. They also talked about their future plans to tell people that they were father and daughter. But he would also at the same time text her things like, "Send a pic for daddy." Matthew Menard was found to be a tech sales executive at a cybersecurity firm named Acronis. He was previously a client executive at the cloud computing company It's Savvy. On LinkedIn, he described himself as a results-oriented sales professional with a passion for building strong client relations. When reached out to for comment after this news came out, his current company that it was believed to employ him at this time claimed that he no longer worked there. Now, Matthew Menard had grown up in Indianapolis, the youngest of 4 brothers. He then moved to Chicago and then Miami, where he allegedly met his current girlfriend, Elizabeth, who he is still believed to be with, at least prior to his charges. South Jordan Police Department claimed that while Menard was not on the run, he also was not in custody at this time, which confused a lot of people. Now, William Glines, on the other hand, had been identified through that tip sent to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. It was found that he started talking to Alisa on February 3rd of 2025, double-checking that she was 14 or 15. He then proceeded to ask her for nude photos and videos. Alisa started expressing that she was uncomfortable and anxious doing that. It made her want to SH. However, Glines allegedly threatened to punish her if she refused. At one point, she just asked for the punishment, and he told her to beat herself with a piece of wood or a hairbrush as hard as she could. He said, "I'm a sadist," and he allegedly wrote to the 15-year-old, "I'm just saying if the average person knew I was talking to you, they'd want to cut my effing D off." But back at the beginning of the investigation, the Texas City Police Department, where he lived, was actually on alert due to this tip for Alisa, as they found out that when Alisa was at the bus station in Utah, she sent Glines a message saying that she was safe. So they believed he could possibly be holding her, or she could have come to him. But he had already been arrested at this time and remained in custody, and they had still not found Alisa. It was unknown and quite unlikely that these two men actually knew each other. Both Matthew Menard and William Glines had a lengthy criminal record, but only for petty crimes. No past charges having to do with children found, at least not yet. Glines' records included assault, multiple DUI arrests, and drug offenses while in prison. But Alisa's mother, Olga, said she didn't believe it was Alisa's idea to keep talking to these men, that they likely lied about their age, sent younger photos of themselves to her. Her mom said she was very, very trusting of people. She would strike up conversations with people everywhere she went, even on vacation. Her mom said that they likely took advantage of her.
It's very unusual. She's never had the behavior like this before. And it is very difficult to hear that the child never came to school. Unfortunately, we didn't even find out about the fact that she wasn't in school until the parents went to pick her up. We are very worried for Alisa, and we would really like for Alisa to come home. And if Alisa hears me, please feel free to reach out. You can reach either me directly or your father and mother. What troubles me is I know that Alisa definitely was talking to some strangers who lured her out of the house. And in my generation, obviously, we grew up without internet and we didn't have things like Discord and Roblox. So whoever is helping her or keeping her, that is definitely not a good friendly gesture. And Alisa could be in danger. This is a suspicion because this is not a normal behavior for Alisa. And we have talked to all her friends and all their parents. So far, nobody has had any news from Alisa since Monday. Completely shocking. In fact, Alisa's birthday was just 4 days before this event. And I wished her happy birthday. And she informed me that she was doing really well in school and that her teacher was really proud of her. And they spoke about her being a valedictorian. So none of these events were even plausible in our minds.
Now, on May 29th, the charged man, Matthew Nicholas Menard, turned himself in to the South Jordan Police Department in Utah following these charges. He was booked into the Salt Lake County Jail, and the Attorney General asked for no bail to be given to Menard, demanding that he forfeit his rights to all his electronic devices and other items connected to the case. Those two men in custody were not the only ones. Another man would be charged in regards to this case, a 41-year-old named Samuel Tincomb Mitchell of Harriman, Utah. He lived streets away from Alisa's home. Mitchell had been identified as another man communicating with Alisa through her iPad on Discord and Snapchat. 2 days before she vanished, she was messaging Mitchell while she was on her family ski trip. She told him that she was going to run away from home because he would not kidnap her. She had requested multiple times from him to kidnap her, even sending her location. She wrote, "I'm running away. Please don't contact me." At one point, they were supposed to meet up, and Mitchell told Alisa that he was really sick and that they weren't actually going to meet anymore. He said, "If you want to hear me sneezing and coughing and getting you sick, plus it wouldn't be much fun." They had allegedly talked about doing couples twister and sex monopoly games, with Alisa calling him daddy as well. He gave graphic descriptions of sexual acts he wanted to do when they met in person, knowing she was 15. However, police at first did not find any sexual images shared between the pair. Then on May 30th, his charges were 5 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor and enticement of a minor. But police had questioned Mitchell, who confirmed that he was speaking with Alisa and planned to meet up with her. And when searched further, police found that Mitchell had been communicating with another 15-year-old, and they found multiple files of explicit materials on his phone.
So when I first heard that they found the guy in Utah, based on the warrant that I saw, it seems like he was not as bad as the Florida guy who was basically telling Alisa how to run away and how to hide, which is obviously the biggest problem we have right now, because if she was not hiding, she would probably already be found. But then I learned from the documents that apparently he had a bunch of other girl videos, so that's really bad too. So basically I understand why the police is arresting him as well. According to police, again, because they give us some partial information, right? They can't give us all of the information, but based on what they tell us, it seems like she never met any of those three guys. Unfortunately, we actually trusted her and we didn't install any parental controls. So this is the big mistake here, right? You need to have parental controls. You need to actually have parental controls on all devices, not just on the phone, because as you discovered, she had this hidden iPad and we completely forgot about that iPad. So we knew about Discord, but not on the iPad. We knew about Discord she had on her laptop, which is the one we cleaned up around August when we realized she's talking to some random people. And that's what we actually cleaned up. We told her delete everybody who you don't know. But we didn't know she had this iPad with this other Discord, and presumably she had other accounts, and she had not just Discord, it was Instagram, Snapchat, and all this stuff. And it seems like all of those applications are used differently, because I personally don't use any of that, and the only time I used Discord was when I was playing some games where you have to talk to other people specifically about games. So to me, Discord looked like an app where people just talk when they play games, and that's it. Like, I didn't even know that people talk there like outside of playing games. We have a lot of people saying that they will pray for her, and hopefully this will bring up some kind of energy to bring her back home. And we are hoping that she just hears like the messages, or maybe she decides that it's a good time to get back, and she will actually get back somehow.
You feel like she could show up at the door one of these days?
If she does it, it would be the happiest day of my life. But yeah, definitely, that would be the best. Like, obviously it's best if she just walked in the door and said, hey, like, I'm back. Like, that would be the best outcome, but I don't know at this point if she's on her own, if she's not on her own, or if maybe someone brainwashed her that they are together and it's love or something. I do not know.
Now, Alisa was still missing, and her mother, Olga, said that the police told them they couldn't guarantee that Alisa was alive, but there was also no indication that she wasn't. She just hoped Alisa was staying away just because she was embarrassed, not because she was hurt. On June 1st, almost 6 weeks into the disappearance, Alisa's family received a phone call from the police stating that they found Alisa. Thankfully, she was alive. She had walked into the Colorado Springs, Colorado Police Department and identified herself. She was found in good health, she was safe, and her family immediately booked flights to Colorado to bring her home.
Date 15-year-old Alisa Petrov, alive, safe, and with police.
That night, Nikolai posted a photo of the family with the caption, "Thank you everyone for all your help. Thank you for sharing the news. Thank you for following, and thank you for any of the tips. Alisa walked into the police department today. She was gone for almost 6 weeks. Special thanks to the South Jordan Police Department who worked on the weekends, and to the Salt Lake City FBI who helped them. Thank you to all of our friends for your help and support. To Jasmia from Missing American Network for the best emotional support in such stressful situations. Also, a special thank you to our local community for praying." It was found that Nikolai had not posted on Facebook for over a year prior to the endless posts about his missing daughter. That's how much he cared. He had gotten back on social media to spread the word. And thankfully it worked. On June 2nd, the next day, Matthew Menard made his first court appearance. Law & Order found through social media that Menard was partying in Miami when Alisa first vanished, and when he was wanted prior to turning himself in. 2 days later, Samuel Mitchell was in court, where it was revealed that a tip had been sent to the police about Mitchell. And when they arrived at his home, Mitchell knew why they were there. He said he was talking to this girl online, but that he didn't remember her name. And she had given him various aliases. He said that she told him she was 19, and he thought maybe she looked 18 in the photos. When they first went through his phone, that's when they found nothing. But he would later tell them that he actually had another phone he used while he was working in the Navy, and he gave that over. This number matched the number given to Alisa over Discord. Now, while it was originally found on this phone that there was images of Alisa and the other 15-year-old, it has since been found that there was also a 12-year-old who was a victim of this grown man.
South Jordan Police Department says since this is a case involving a minor, they're going to be pretty close-lipped about it.
Now, Alisa's dad, Nikolai, spoke about how they tried to be aware of what their daughter was doing online, and this still happened. He said it isn't a privacy issue, it's a safety issue, because there are so many weird people online that may take advantage of kids who are curious and naive.
I think for other families, if they have kids around this age, like between I don't know, maybe even 11 until, I don't know, maybe even 17, they should probably discuss with them that look like the reason why we will be locking down your device, so we'll be looking why you are talking to somebody, because kids go missing and not all of them come back. Parents somehow need to talk to kids and tell them, look, the reason we are checking all this stuff is because you can get into some bad problems, but besides that there is also a lot of really weird individuals, just like this third guy from Utah.
It is highly likely that the Petrov family will file a lawsuit against these men for emotional distress, but many questions remain about where Alisa had gone for those 6 weeks. She turned herself in to the Colorado police, but none of the men she allegedly was talking to lived in Colorado. One lived in Florida, one in Texas, one in Utah. Were there more? How did she get to Colorado? Was she in a dangerous situation for those 6 weeks? Was she ever held against her will? What made her come home? While I hope that there are updates in this case and that we know a little bit more, I do just wish for healing for Alisa, and that she is surrounded by those who love her, support her, and let her know that she is still welcome, that, this is a mistake that she made, but thankfully it was not a life-changing mistake, and she is still able to move on from this and learn from it. And I think that her story can possibly help a lot of girls going through this exact same situation, and knowing that these men, they do not love you. They do not have a better life planned for you. They cannot give you that. They are sick individuals who, if they are interested in you in any way, should make you run and scream from them. And I promise you that they don't want good things for you. And I just hope that stories like this are teaching these vulnerable children and teens that it's not exactly what they're telling you. In fact, another girl has already gone missing in the same place at the same time. 15-year-old Kylie Arellano lived in Garden City, Utah, which is about 2.5 hours from South Jordan, Utah, where Alisa vanished from. Kylie was last seen on May 30th, 2025, around 10:52 p.m., while Alisa was still missing. However, Kylie has not been found. Kylie has brown eyes, black hair, standing at 5'5", weighing around 115 pounds. She has black braces and several scars on her forearm and thighs. She has several tattoos that are home tattoos, including a cross on her middle finger and coda on her right ankle. Now, Kylie was actually seen walking towards Logan Canyon with luggage that night. However, nobody knew where she was going. Her mother, Stephanie, has since found from police that Kylie shut off her phone about 300 feet from their home. However, they searched that area and her phone still wasn't found. After the sightings around 11 p.m., there had been no more sightings, and her mother said that her phone has not been turned on, she is not on social media, the messages are not being sent to her, and her mother has feared that someone has coerced her out of her home. She stated that Kylie had run away before, but she came home shortly after. Her mother said Kylie often used Discord and Snapchat to communicate with others because she learned that her mom couldn't track them. She also did not know Kylie's username and had been reaching out to all of her friends trying to figure it out. Her mother did, however, find that someone had sent Kylie money through PayPal prior to her disappearance. Both her mother and the police have had sightings reported to them, but none that have led them to Kylie's location. So anyone with information about Kylie's disappearance is urged to contact the Rich County Sheriff's Office at 435-793-2285, referencing the case number 25R308. I'm grateful that this is a survivor case and that Alisa was able to join her family once again. I hope that she has not been too traumatized through this and that she can use her knowledge for good in the future to prevent others like her from doing the same thing that she got herself involved in. I don't think that calling her a runaway is necessarily fair when there is grooming and manipulation happening by older, disturbed men who have not only been speaking to her, but have also told her that they wanted her to meet up with them in Las Vegas, and that's exactly where she was trying to go. So it does make me wonder if there is perhaps another man she was talking to that lived in Colorado that she was trying to see there, or if she just somehow ended up there. I do hope she tells her story when it's her time to do so and she feels like that is right. And I do hope that we find Kylie and bring her home safe and sound as well. I truly appreciate you listening to this story. If you want to go on a true crime binge, I will have a playlist down for you below. Don't forget to speak up. Your voice is powerful enough, and I love you to absolute pieces. Okay, bye.